So, Hazbin Hotel Season 2 just dropped, and it rocketed my channel due to a few stray Hazbin shorts, and I really appreciate everyone who subscribed to me back then, because, my life is starting to get back to normal, but the last 2 months were crazy, and, like, the love that I got from y'all genuinely made me feel better. Anyways, this video was technically requested, so I did it. If you have any requests, put them in the comments, I guess. Yeah. Starting off, Season 2 is so much better than Season 1. I do have complaints, but I will address them at the end. So let me... Okay, number one, this is just an objective fact, but here's my reasoning. The pacing is better. Now, maybe I'm hallucinating, but I think the pacing is better in this last one. Was it still fast-paced? Yes. Did I have time to breathe? Yes. A lot happened in Season 2. But the things that happened, like, it felt a lot more defined, if that makes sense. It was funnier. It was better, okay? I don't know what they changed specifically. I can't put my finger on it. But it was, the pacing was better. I don't know how to describe it. But everything felt like it had a lot more time to breathe than it did in Season 1. Even though it is still pretty fast-paced, I'm pretty sure Season 2 takes place over, like, a much shorter amount of time than Season 1 did, which is crazy because Season 1 feels like it took place in the span of a few weeks, and Season 2 feels like it happened in the span of, like, a year. Season 2 might have actually happened in the span of a year. I really wasn't paying attention to the timelines and such. But Season 1, I believe, took place over, like, a month. Which is crazy, because it does not feel like a month in Season 1. Yeah. Let's see. Also, it was funnier. Like, the jokes were funnier, they landed more consistently, and I think they were a lot less grating. Congratulations to Viv and the team for listening to the fandom's criticisms. I know that it can be hard, well, I don't know that it can be hard. I assume it can be hard being an indie developer, who's working on 2 projects at once. But, you know, I think she took the, it's too fast-paced criticism pretty well, and adjusted accordingly. Yeah. Another thing I really liked is that Vaggie got a lot more fleshed out. Now, I admit I did not really like Arc 1 Vaggie, or Season 1 Vaggie. Like, she felt a bit flat, and I kind of saw her as a Millie duplicate with a different backstory. But I like her now. She's not my favorite character, probably never will be. Lucifer's got that in the bag. But the plotline around her name and her conflict with Charlie made her a lot more fleshed out, in my opinion. So, I really liked Vaggie, this arc. I figured that she would get a bit more fleshed out, especially with the whole Exorcist plotline in Season 1. But this was pretty good. I actually really like it. Moving on from that hella fast, because I do not want to address that one scene. The ending of Season 2, very good. Okay, listen. I like the ending. There's nothing horrible about the ending of Season 1. But it is missing something. I do not know what it is missing. I feel like there were too many threads in Season 1 in too little time, and they tried to tie it up super fast with the finale. It just didn't work. It didn't work. Listen. But the finale of Season 2, I actually pretty liked. I thought it was good. I think it established, a nice firm foundation for Season 3, and I think that it wrapped up, like, enough of the threads for, like, the season to feel complete without having nothing to expand upon in Season 3. And, yeah, I really liked the ending. If I had to grade the endings of the seasons, I would give the ending of Season 1 a 70, which is passing technically, but failing in some households. And I would give the ending of Season 2 like a 95, probably. Probably higher, like a 97, like a 6 or a 7. Sorry. I'm very sorry. I will not listen. Yeah. Anyways, my next point might sound a bit weird, but I need you to hang on with me, okay? I like that they made Vox racist. Now hold on, before you come at me. Here is my thought process. Vox is a villain who thinks that he is better than everyone else. What do racists think? That they are better than everyone else. Well, not everyone, but most other people, probably. Like, Asia makes up a very high percentage of the population, you guys. So most other people probably. It also makes him a lot less sympathetic, which I think is what they were going for. A lot of people sympathized with Vox anyways, and you might not see that. I see it on Tumblr, listen. A lot of people sympathized with Vox anyways, but, like, I really don't think that's what they were going for. Plus, the clip about Spanish being an island language was funny and hilarious. Probably not the best joke in the series, but top 10 for sure. I don't know why it's so funny to me. Probably because, Spain is not an island, but England is. So technically, English is an island language. That's just me being a nerd. That doesn't make it funny. But, I found it amusing, okay, you guys. Also, I think it kind of makes the Alistair situation make a lot more sense. Bro cannot stand to see a black guy winning. I also really like that Velvet got fleshed out a lot more. She's not completely fleshed out, but she's more of a character than she was, cause like, back in the day, she's a bit of an accessory. Kind of all three of them were a bit of an accessory. The views were extremely flat in season 1 with actually, I think Valentino was probably the one we saw the most because of episode 4. But I like that Velvet got some screen time. I do like Velvet. I don't like her as a person, but I like her as a character. I think Hazbin Hotel fans they kind of low-key understand it subconsciously, but they don't consciously understand the difference between liking people as a character and as a person. Because they use, I don't like him as a person against people who like him as a character, when that's not what they're saying. Most of the time. Sometimes they like them as a person, and I don't like that. But, where did we go? Anyways, I like that Velvet got fleshed out a bit. If I had my way, I would like to see Velvet get a bit of a redemption arc. Not in the sense that she would be going to get redeemed or whatever, but I would like her to see, her, basically what she did wrong, if that makes sense, and sort of work to become better. I know that that's not gonna happen, but I would like to see it. In contrast, I would like Valentino to never, ever, ever get a redemption arc, ever. Because what the fuck. Extending on that point, I also really like the fact that we get to see more of Heaven. Because before, Heaven was like the stereotypical big bad, and while I do think that was fun, especially from the perspective of the majority of the gay audience in the show with religious trauma, you kind of want to see Heaven as full of a bunch of self-righteous snobs, but there's gotta be a bunch of good people up there as well, you know what I mean? Like, it is at least in part fulfilling its purpose, even if some bad people do probably get in. And I think acknowledging this does make it better as a show. I'd like to see Sarah get a redemption arc. I see that she started it, and I'd like to see her continue. And I'd like to see all other sorts of stuff involving Heaven, and I think it's important to show Heaven as, like, a group of people. I think it's important to show all villains as people, even if they're not going to get a redemption arc. I think it's important to see villains as people, because the villains in your real life are people. And even though we shouldn't be allowing people to get off of stuff because they are people, you kind of gotta see other people's perspectives, you know what I mean? Even if their perspective is wrong, it makes you a smarter person. And I think that the fact that the villains in Hazbin Hotel, and with the exception of Valentino and, like, a couple villains from Hell of a Boss, but we're not talking about Hell of a Boss, we're talking about Hazbin Hotel, with the exception of Valentino, a lot of the villains in Hazbin Hotel are pretty human. Sarah is very human in her sort of reasoning. Lute is extremely human. Lute is a very human person, even if she sucks. If you don't see Lute as a human, I present to you girl who got broken up with while she was on her period. Okay, listen. Been there, done that. He's still a piece of shit and he shouldn't have hit me. But I'm not gonna talk about that. Who else? Who else is a villain that's human? Vox is pretty human, actually. I say that he's mostly meant to not be sympathetic, but there was that sympathetic scene with, Alistair and him getting rejected by Alistair. Is Alistair a human villain? Maybe. He might be. I don't know. Is he even a villain, actually? He's going to be a villain, I guarantee you. Alistair is up to something. Do not trust Alistair. But, yeah, actually. Yeah, anyways, moving on to things that I did not like. There are more things that I liked, but previous list was mostly the big things that I liked. I'm not going to acknowledge, the Angel Dust situation. Things that I did like. Things that I did not like. I don't like that Lute was sort of hyped up to be a nightmare and we got Gravity. We all thought that Lute was going to be a menace, a problem. Lute was going to murder someone, probably Vaggie, or Nifty, one of the two. I thought we were going to see someone get murdered. She didn't do anything. She was just seething with rage this season. Not to say that she won't get someone in the next season. I think that's probably what's gonna happen. But, yeah, I don't like that. That's the thing that I don't like. I also don't like that Emily came down and told Charlie that Penchas was alive and not dead. Immediately, I think it would have been better to see her try and cope for a little bit. Even though I don't think that you could organically fit it into the story anywhere else, honestly, I think it would have been better to see her try and cope for a little while longer. Yeah. Another thing that I don't like is most of episode 1. It's not that I think that they're behaving, and I think Charlie is behaving 100% on character. Okay. And all of them are behaving on character. I just think episode 1 was a lot. Was that episode 1? The episode where Vox comes to yeah, that's episode 1. I believe it is. Yeah. Let me Google it. Hello, testing? Okay. Hello, testing. For some reason, Google turned off my microphone for a minute, but I got it fixed anyways. Google was really unhelpful. I'm just gonna assume it's episode 1 because my parents don't like Hazbin Hotel and I don't want to go downstairs and turn it on right now. But I don't like it because, I don't know, specifically the stuff in regards to Angel Dust, I don't like. I get that it was setting up the sort of Angel Dust is being hypnotized by Vox thing. I understand that. I don't like it. There's something, Vox is just so unnecessarily cruel, and I get that he's a villain, he's meant to be unnecessarily cruel, but he seems to be in, passive-aggressive Southern mom mode, and I'm not sure, that might be a bit nitpicky, but, I don't like it. And that's not probably, there's a good chance that's just that part of my brain that just doesn't like people being mean to Angel, and I am willing to accept that. I don't know. It unsettled me. Other than that, most of my gripes with the show are relatively minor. Do I wish we had gotten more Lucifer? Yeah, a little bit, but you kind of need to get, like... I do wish we had more Lucifer, but I understand you kind of gotta sacrifice some of that runtime, and Lucifer was very fun, this season, so, that's a pretty minor complaint. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about headcanons. Not all of these are headcanons I just made up, they're just headcanons that I have. And then we'll go on to theories and predictions, and yeah. Cause I lost my script, between, like, this is multiple days of filming cause I got a headache and went to bed. I might be getting a little ill. But yeah, anyways, let's go to headcanons. Number one, I think that Baxter is definitely probably trans. What's my logic for this? Well, he's got one of those little, what are those dangly thingies called? Like, he's got the light, and only female anglerfishes have the light, and he doesn't. Plus, he's short, so, you know, he's a short nerd with, female anatomy. That's, like, the only logic I have for him being trans. Yeah. Another headcanon that I have is that, Nifty is also used to be an overlord. That did not make any grammatical sense, but I have a theory that Nifty used to be an overlord. And, but all of Alistair's other little goons, don't really have specific facial features or designs or anything, and both Husk and Nifty do. And Husk used to be an overlord, so yeah. I don't know. What were her powers? I do not know. Maybe she made clothes or something. Like really addictive clothes. I don't know. Most of what I have are theories, so I think Husk will be redeemed first out of, like, the people redeemed next. It's gonna be Husk and then Cherry short after. I don't think it's gonna be Cherry first. I think they're gonna have more pining cause Serpentius and that's most of Serpentius and Cherry's relationship, and I really don't think they're gonna change what works low-key. But, yeah, that's my personal headcanon for that. Ow. Another theory that I have is that Angel Dust is going to stay stay with the V's until there's, like, until he does something and basically they kind of kick him out. Like, something bad is gonna happen at the V's and that's why he leaves. Maybe he's not, like, fully kicked out. I take that back. But he's gonna, like, something bad is gonna happen. Another headcanon theory I have is that we're probably gonna see Angel's dad in Season 2. I should make a Hazbin Hotel Season 2 bingo card. I've been really into getting into bingo cards recently. But I should make a Hazbin Hotel Season 2 bingo card. I think that would be fun. Yeah. Another theory that I have is that, I think Rosie is either Rue or Eve. One of the two. I don't think that she's Eve. Well, actually, Eve, she could be Eve, but I don't think that she's a sinner. So Eve would have to be above all the other guys, if that makes sense. So she's probably Rue, but she might be Eve. I think it's like 90% Rue, 10% Eve, I think. But side note, I really like Rosie in this season. Probably more than I like Alistair. Like, my love of Alistair has kind of fallen off over the later half of Season 1. And I used to really like Pilot Alistair, but, you know, Rosie is better. Rosie superiority, 100%, low-key. I'm starting to talk like a frat boy. Am I getting sick again? I swear to God. But, yeah. Anyways, another headcanon theory I have, we will see Cain. And not Cain from the Amazing Digital Circus. If Abel exists, Cain exists. And if Cain exists, then that means that Adam was not the first man into heaven, because the first man into heaven cannot be Adam. It has to be Abel, because Adam had another kid afterward. Listen. Another headcanon theory I have is that in Season 3 we will see either a Sin or an Ars Goetia. And they're gonna have, it's not gonna be a background cameo either. They're gonna, speak at least once. They're not gonna be super important to the plot, but they're gonna, be present. It's gonna be like a cameo, I think. Basically. Another prediction is that Lute will have her crash out in Season 3, and that's what's gonna trigger Rue to become, a more prominent force. Lute is gonna do something that's so horrible and so bad that, one, she's gonna get kicked out of heaven and become fallen and or die, and two, it's going to awaken Rue like frickin' Ganondorf from Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and she's gonna awaken or manifest or whatever. Maybe she's already awakened and planning something, but something that she's gonna do is gonna cause Rue to become a thing. Another prediction I have is that Emily will die. She is going to become a martyr for the cause. She's the Rue, as in R-U-E, I believe that's how it was spelled in the Hunger Games. She's gonna be Hazbin Hotel's version of Rue. She's not gonna live very long. I'm predicting it. I'm predicting it right now. Girl is fixing to die. Okay. Yeah. Prediction number, I think we're at 6. Prediction number 6, we will be moving on and see other parts of, Pentagram City. Or not other parts of Pentagram City, parts of the Pride Ring outside Pentagram City. Assuming Pentagram City is the capital, there's gotta be other cities out there, and I think we're probably gonna go see them. If not in person, probably through a flashback sequence. I think there's gonna be people from other parts of hell that come up to go see, Charlie and whatever the frick she's doing. Another prediction I have is that Molly will get a speaking line. She will talk to Sir Pentious, and perhaps she'll send letters back and forth through Angel, but I don't think that'll happen in Season 3. I'm actually hesitant in whether or not Angel is going to get redeemed within the series. I could definitely see Angel being left on a open cliffhanger, open ending, or whatever of oh, he might get redeemed, but he's working on it, because genuinely I don't know how many seasons Hazbin Hotel has. I know that Disney is pushing for a 5th, but I'm not sure if they're gonna get a 5th. I genuinely, I don't know. But yeah, my prediction is that, Molly is going to get a speaking line. We are going to hear about whatever the frick happened between Angel and his dad, not from Angel, but actually from Molly. And if that's not how we hear about it, it's not gonna be from Angel, it's gonna be from either Vox or Valentino, and it's gonna be incredibly traumatic, and it's gonna be sad, and then Angel Dust is gonna sing a really sad, slow song about it, and it's gonna be an absolute banger, just like Losing Streak. That's another prediction of mine. I need to make a bingo card, this is so freaking crazy. Prediction that I have is that Vox will not stay down. He's gonna get back up probably about halfway or in the later half of Hazbin Hotel Season 3. Maybe the V's are putting him back together, but I genuinely don't think so, because Katie Killjoy said we might need to change our company name, which is implying that Vox is probably gonna be incapacitated for a while, but I don't think his villain arc is over. I think he's gonna come back and be a menace, but I don't think he's gonna be as serious as a threat as he was in Season 2. I think he's just gonna be a major inconvenience and nothing more. Another prediction I have is that we will be seeing more of Zestiel. This one might be kind of obvious, but I do think that maybe he'll be like the printing press demon. I have my fingers crossed for him being the demon of printing presses. Listen. Do I think that I think it would be funny, and I think it would make sense. I don't think that it's actually true, but I think it's that's more of a headcanon than a theory or a prediction, but like, yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for y'all today. If you enjoyed, leave a like, consider subscribing. I don't usually talk about Hazbin Hotel. I probably won't for a while. I'm kind of tired of it. But I am considering talking about other, like, indie shows. Anything except for Knights of Guinevere. I'm not touching that with a 5-foot pole. I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on around there. I'm going to bed now. I'll see y'all later. Bye! Hey, for clarification, editing dryer here. It's not that I don't like Knights of Guinevere. I very much did like Knights of Guinevere. Unfortunately, I'm not touching the fandom with a 10-foot pole. Okay, now I'm gone. Bye.